It looks bigger and better than I've ever seen it before, and some great stuff here. And both Panavision and Arri bringing out new cameras. It's exciting.
1, 2, 3.
That's the viewfinder and the wireless transmitter, yeah.
So a lot of the light was coming through, so not too diffused. Yeah. I'm lucky to be one of them.
That's you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to run off.
I love it!
It gives them a chance just to feel what an industry's like, and the quality of the equipment, the quality of the lenses. This is an amazing show.
It's great to see so many new and old cinematographers in one place. Brilliant.
We're here today with Christopher Ross to talk about the impact of high-end television, namely talking about Trust, a flagship show that Chris has just shot for FX, the impact it's having on the UK film industry and some of the challenges that Chris has had on that show.
But I guess it's very, very hard for independent film these days. The first film that I shot was shot for £65,000, and then I've made a bunch of movies anywhere up to 12-15 million pounds, and that window of cash flow is eluding producers now. Studios are less likely to be putting money into those things, and a whole heap of money has gone into the TV broadcasters and online broadcasters, I guess, and it's quite a hard place to compete anymore, because you've got a little bit more cash to spend on the bigger toys. It's great to be involved in that TV world where you having shot things for terrestrial broadcasters in the UK. The capabilities are far greater today than they were a decade ago.
It's a wonderful venue, and I think each year we seem to go a little bit further in terms of what we're developing and what we're putting on.
So it's another way of looking at this relationship. The resolution and sharpness are totally separate things. We've just been taught through some marketing that they're the same thing, and they're simply not. So I'm going to show you an example of an image for 4 seconds, and I want you to tell me which one appears sharper to you. Time's up.
What we should do is maybe the double head or the one.
The number of exhibitors seems to go up every year. The range of equipment that is at our disposal varies in exciting ways every year.
And then it just took off.
It's not just one lens, these are 16 prime lenses, starting with the very wide angle with 12mm and going up to a 280mm lens.
I love the BSC show. I come every year, and every year I see my mentors, I see my friends, and I see crew, and it's an absolute honor to attend.
This was November last year. Today we have even more updates for you. And the first update I want to share with you is, of course, the third-party support.
And Richard asked me to kind of do some quick test footage on this camera. Rather than just go off and do fantastic beauty shots, I thought, well, this camera is 500 ASA. Other cameras out there today have huge ISOs, native speeds, and people have got used to very fast native speeds of cameras. And is 500 ASA going to be a kind of a negative?
What they wanted to do is to make the cameras smaller. They wanted to not build sets. They wanted to be on real places, and they wanted to create the human story and have human stories. And conversely, in England, the same thing was happening in the 50s and 60s, where suddenly things changed because of the artists that were in this country, stylistic and very humorous.
For example, in Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down, there is a saloon which is made at studio, and he puts some curtains on it, on the windows, and they were red. And he tells me, I want this red, but what I see now, I do not want to you tell me after at the screen that it cannot be of this color.
I went on to work with Ken Loach, and I think we have to mention also directors and the importance of directors. All those films are important to me because they were directors who taught me enormous amounts of things. You know, who gave me the opportunity to shoot a Ken Loach. I've worked for him for 20 years, so I did 12 films, a dozen films. So, you know, and as you said, Jose, is you're moving on, you're trying to progress from a style into something that represents your personality. I think a cinematographer has to have a personality, has to have a signature that people can then recognize. So.
That is what allowed me to get in touch with filmmakers that in that moment were truly emerging filmmakers. So I did Desperado with Robert Rodriguez, and then I did From Dusk Till Dawn. That's how I met Quentin, and then I did this with him, and then by the time Del Toro came to do movies in America, then it kicked off. But I was able to fall in and prove that not only was capable to do it, but I had a vision to contribute and in a world to bring. You develop a sense of seeing the world from down up as opposed to up down, and you can be saying or talking about the same subject and the interpretation is entirely different. And that gave me a very strong drive and a very strong determination, and because I'm a full product of adversity in that sense, and all the third world is like that. But in terms of the ability as an artist to express yourself, you have to fight and to go around lines that are not necessarily the ones that are expected to be, etc.
The third film which I have shot was directed by László Nemes, who was an assistant for Béla. So it's almost like a family in a way. It's grandfather, father and son. I hope they don't mind me saying that, but it's extreme how these people are connected. And when we first talked about the topic of this discussion, I realized that if I pick these 3 clips, it will give you a very good understanding of, the question was, how who I am as a filmmaker, what's my background and where I'm coming from. And I think these, just looking at these 3 clips sums it up in a very, very crystal clear way.
We need students to be here. We want them to be the next BSC members, the next cinematographers. When I walked in yesterday, there was a little group behind me of students, and they were saying to themselves, we gotta find some DPs to talk to. Like we've been told, we gotta meet up and talk. So I turned around and said, "Could I have a chat with you?" And we had a little, we were like dropping off our bags. We had a chat for 5 minutes, and it's a pleasure. You want the new cinematographers here, to soak all this up, but to do what they said, meet people, talk to cinematographers, be inspired. Well, the seminars are getting better and better. Yeah, I think the panel I was on, fortunately, with 3 other great cinematographers there, it's just wonderful. So you're getting a fantastic, a good slice of real cinematography. It's in a great location, easy access. What else do you want? It's great, fantastic.
And just the level of seminars and the level of people attending, the cinematographers attending, just as visitors, not even hosting seminars. It's the best show in the world.